Let's create some art. My creative art project journey started off at Michael's, and I must say I had a lot of fun finding all of the media that I needed. I was going for acrylic on canvas, so of course I had to get my canvas, and I got 2 of them because, let's be honest, nobody's perfect. And of course we had to get the palette knives, paintbrushes, and all of that good stuff. Can we please just take a moment to appreciate my sheet laying? Like, look at that, amazing. My project focuses very heavily on spirituality and art, something that's very close to my heart. I would like to create a 2-dimensional abstract art piece that depicts brushstrokes that represent humans standing in front of the Kaaba in Mecca. That's the holiest site for Muslims. I decided to stencil everything out before I actually started painting, just to give me a better idea of what the canvas was going to look like. Here's the final sketch. I was actually so nervous to start putting the paint on the actual canvas, but after a little while I got pretty comfortable with it. And in just a second you will see that all of these paint bottles are blocking my view. And here's me, randomly impressed with this piece of abstract art that I was making as I was painting over the entire canvas. I will say that even though I was nervous at first, being able to just paint over this entire canvas was very, very calming. Should I become a painter? I had to make sure that all sides of the canvas are fully covered with the black acrylic. And here's the final product of the black painted canvas. I have to shout out my Dyson hairdryer for this project because it totally came in handy when drying the paint. Here's when it really started getting real and I started adding elements to the piece. Total shout out to the girl at Michael's who told me that if you add cornstarch to your acrylic paint, it becomes very creamy, almost like a paste. So that's actually exactly the technique that I used to add in the representational people that are in this piece. So here I am just adding it on with a palette knife. The texture was absolutely amazing. And a quick break for some baby snuggles. Now we're right back to it. In the piece, there are about 4 layers of people, or representational people rather, before you get to the focal points of the piece. I went over the canvas about 5 or 6 times with the acrylic paint just to ensure that it gave me the texture that I wanted for the artwork. And here I am again with my handy dandy Dyson. I was actually going over the gray acrylic with some metallic gold just to add a little bit of more emphasis to the focal point. The texture was absolutely fantastic at this point. For the focal points of the piece, I decided to use a metallic rose gold, and I just thought the colors complemented each other so well, but that rose gold just popped off of the canvas the minute I added it. But I was so nervous to apply it on. Here I am so carefully applying it just because I was so nervous. I was like, at this point, I would have to start all over if something goes wrong. This is what it looked like, and here I am just adding in some final touches. The top line for me was so hard to do, but I ended up basically just rounding it off with one of these smaller, more sharper palette knives. Final touches upon final touches went into this piece because I am an artist. Very demure, very mindful. And here's the final piece. I loved the way it came out. The texture, the focal point, the use of the colors, everything just came together brilliantly for me. And I was actually quite proud of myself by the end of it. The name of this piece is Reflections.